In this video, I want to talk about a concept called the combined fold probability, and this relates to both pre-flop play and post-flop play when we're looking to bluff or semi-bluff. In regards to stealing the blinds, well, when we're looking to steal the blinds with a very wide range, so for example, a range like this, a lot of the hands within this range are going to be bluffing hands pre-flop because we're raising pre-flop as a bluff because we don't want action. We just simply want to take down those blinds. So we need to understand this concept of combined fold probability, and also post-flop when we're bluffing as well. This also plays a role. So what it states that the greater the number of players that are left in the hand, the lower the probability that they will all fold to a bet. So for example, let's equate it to stealing the blinds. What's the probability of both the small blind and the big blind folding? So the probability of two players folding. Well, it's going to be this equation, P of X times P of Y, where P of X is going to be the probability of the first player folding, and P of Y is going to be the probability of the second player folding. So let's think about this. Let's say that we are looking to steal the blinds from the button with a weak hand that we don't want action with, and we know that one opponent is going to fold 90% of the time and the other is going to fold 40% of the time. We simply multiply these together, so 0.9 times 0.4, that tells us that both of them are going to fold 36% of the time. So why is this important? Well, because if we look at our opponent's folding tendencies individually, we might misconstrue how often they're both going to fold. Let's say that we're playing online and one opponent is folding 70% of the time, the other one is folding 65% of the time. We may think, well, they're both folding more than 60% of the time, so me stealing with 100% of the range should be outright profitable because I'm only open raising with a 2 big blind steal attempt sizing. And I know that that needs to work roughly 57% of the time, so it should be outright profitable. But that's not the case because we need to look at the probability of both of them folding. So 0.6 times 0.7 is going to tell us that combined, they're both going to fold 42% of the time. And the rest of the time, we're actually going to have to play post-flop. So that's why when we're playing online, or if we're playing live and we're just estimating how often our opponents fold, we need to think about how often they both fold, because that gives us a realistic picture. And if we just look at them individually, we're going to underestimate how often we need to play post-flop, and we're not going to take that information into consideration in regards to how well they play post-flop, what type of a range they're going to defend post-flop, and how well we play post-flop. So I want you to understand that. And if we actually take a look at this with a calculator, if I do 0.8 times 0.8, so if both the small blind and the big blind both independently fold 80% of the time to a steal, that combined is going to be 64% of the time. So if we're looking at that 2 big blind steal attempt sizing or that 2.5 big blind steal attempt sizing, both of those are going to be marginally profitable. But a 3 big blind steal attempt is actually not going to be outright profitable. We have to play well post flop as well. So in regards to stealing the blinds and poker coaches recommending that we should steal with a wide range, we also need to take those considerations I talked about into consideration. And on top of that, you also need to consider the combined fold probability. And when our opponents aren't folding that often combined, we probably want to tighten up our steal attempt range a bit in regards to what we should be looking to steal the blinds, understanding that we are going to have to play post-flop and we want hands that we can play post-flop well against those opponents. So that's the concept of combined fold probability. If you have any questions, please let me know. And this also plays the same role in post-flop play as well. So when we're looking to bluff post-flop into multiple opponents, then we also need to consider this as well. So I want you to consider combined fold probability both in your pre-flop play and in your post-flop play. So if you have any questions, please let me know. If not, thanks for watching, and I'll see you at the next video. Take care.